Good to see you, Hunter. This is it. This is the new reserve called Timbergold Trails. And you can already see the golden trees behind me. This is the second fall map in the game. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you understand that this is on the beta server. So anything that you see here might be subject to change before this gets released. There are two lodges in this map, like in every other map. This looks very familiar, the normal lodge, where you can put in 30 hunters. And there's a new building over here where you can put in another 100 hunters. No, not likely, but you can see this building is a lot larger. A new building, very nicely done here. So we will look around here quickly and then we'll jump on the map. Running back here, going east, we're going to have a stunning view on the valley. This platform might look familiar to you. It's the same that they also have in Settler Creeks. So it must have been the same construction builder who built this. This looks a bit like Indian summer in the north of the US. Very nice. Those golden trees all over the place. And then higher up in the mountains, different type of tree. I think the golden trees are aspen trees. You can see the white stems, and I'll talk about them a little bit later because they put in an extra challenge here for hunting in this area. The mountains already mentioned, many of them in the Rocky Mountains, of course. Very nice. So then running back here, this is the expensive room up here with the little balcony. Little picnic area over here. And back here we have something that we don't see often. We see them in the early reserves, but not many in the later reserves. A shooting range. And we have targets here. We have some animals here similar to the archery addictions range in Red Feather Falls. And then over here we also have a clay shooting range. So these targets are familiar. And the animals as well. I don't see any information yet on the organs that are hit like we have on the archery addictions. Maybe this will be added and maybe not. Maybe they are just there for practicing the shooting. We have a bear here, which is not a black bear. Of course, we have the grizzly bear in this reserve. And then the clay shooting range with the F key. You can release the targets and practice shotgun shooting, because you will need that for the white-tailed ptarmigans that will also roam this reserve. So let's have a look at the map here. When I go to the map, the normal zoom level cannot hold this map. I have to zoom out, and I will zoom all the way out so you can see where this is located in the EHR, in the Evergreen Hunting Reserves. This is the so-called American continent. We have Rougarou, Loggers Point, Settler Creeks, White Hart Island. Then Red Feather Falls used to be the largest map when it came out. Then White Rime Ridge was even bigger. And now looking at Timbergold Trails, I think it's even larger than White Rime Ridge. Comparing this one to this one, maybe the same size. But it's really huge. Over here, bush rangers run down below here. Then we have Hirschfelden, Hemmeldal, and Val de Bois on the so-called European continent. If you look at Val de Bois, you have the mountains on both sides and then the river in the middle. And when I looked at the new map, it really reminded me of this. We also have the mountains on both sides and we have the river in the middle. It's just a lot larger. We have lakes, we have rivers in the middle, and then everything surrounded. Taller mountains up here in the north, and then other mountains here in the south. What sticks out quickly is all the exclamation marks. These are all points of interest. I put some tents already to a few of them, and I will put more tents as we go through this. This will be a series of hunts so that I can show you all the different aspects about this reserve, about the animals that we find, and so forth. We will start here in the west, going into this forest. And I did mention before that these aspen trees give you a separate type of challenge. And what I meant with that is most of the stems are not very thick. And also what I noticed is there's not too many rocks here. And hunting here before, I noticed this is really a good challenge because sometimes you don't really know where you can hide. So just the smaller stems and the absence of rocks give you a really hard time to go hunt to go hide somewhere when there is a herd of elk coming in, or any type of animal. The bears will see you better here. So this is a bit of a challenge. Some of the stems are thicker, and I will try to mount some tree stands later. On these I would think they should fit, but many of the smaller stems will not give you good protection. Also, not very many roots that you can use to have a bit of an elevation over the grass. Almost total absence of roots. So this is a bit of a different type of challenge. I didn't expect this here, but it's really, maybe it's not even intended, but I found this to be really challenging. There are new ambient sounds, new bird songs that you can hear. Some of them are familiar, but some of them are new. And it's a really good atmosphere here. If you look at the map, or even just at the small map on the Hunter made, everything seems the same type of yellow. But you can see some parts are a bit darker. These are the open parts. These are openings like this, and there's very many of them. So first it seems like you're going into a thick forest, everything covered with trees, but then you find these openings, the darker parts on the map. A lot of little lakes appearing here. I was still battling with the color for the tracks. The latest I have set it to red, to the original red that everyone has by default. Because when you're tracking here in the tall grass, it's not easy to see the tracks ahead of you. So far the red works well, and I have to change it. I have used the light blue on all the other maps, but here I will likely switch to red when I do my hunting. So hopefully we'll find a few tracks soon. I'm expecting either mule deer or Rocky Mountain Elk to give us a call. As far as the animal groups, we are used to mule deer mostly being groups of males or groups of females, and sometimes we see mixed groups. So I expected to see the same here, but so far I only find solitary mule deer, be it females or males. I haven't seen any groups, so that's quite surprising. That's quite different. When it comes to the elk, the configurations that we know are mostly male groups or female groups, the females always being 5 or 6 of them. And then in Red Feather Falls you see females plus 1 bull, But here you see different configurations. What I've seen is a few females only and a bull. I have not seen two bulls in the same group or in the same area yet. I think there's actually no bull groups, but maybe we'll find some later. So they could be there, I just haven't seen any yet. You can use the normal callers. Mule deer is mule deer, so you can use the ground call or the bleed call. And then elk, you would think is elk, and really it does work. So this bugle caller will attract the elk, the Rocky Mountain elk, and it also triggers responses similar to the Roosevelt elk. So when you blow this, you will get an answer from them if they are out there. So I'm just going to call out in the blue, but I don't think we have any animals in the range yet, because as soon as there are some, I would think they would call. So if you look here, imagine there is a group of elk coming out of the woods. Where do you hide? These trees are too small, too narrow. You have to look for the larger ones, but there's not too many of them. And then when you start crouching or even laying flat, you will miss the roots. It's not easy. There's also a lot of bushes, and the animals can see you through those, so they will only be in your way, so you cannot see the animals well, but they will see you. So this is a good challenge. I've had elk running away from me simply because I wouldn't know where to hide. Here is a rock for once, but there's a lot less rocks than in other reserves. We have this type of bush you can walk through, which means animals can see through. You have many of them here. They're a really good challenge for you when you want to ambush animals that will come in. It's a fall map, so you will have rain, not snow. You would think that's clear, but I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have also given us some snow here. Some snowfall in late fall. I just had this leaf falling down in front of me, and that reminds me of something. Looking at the leaves here, you would think they fly east, and I brought some wind indicator. And lo and behold, in this particular spot, this is the direction where the wind goes. Looking at the map, it is east. Very, very similar to the other maps. Most of the maps, I just remember wind goes north or northeast. So it's about the same here. So if you don't have any wind indicator, or if you want to spare it, just look at the flying leaves. This is where the wind goes. Guess what that is? We got a grizzly bear up here. Now you see the emerging circles, and that is just the rough area where it is, because my skill level, my tracking skill for grizzly is at 1 or maybe somewhere near 2. So these circles are not very accurate yet. I will go after grizzly later, but just so you know, they are here alongside with the elk and the mule deer. If you want to seriously hunt grizzly bear, you probably want to bring your largest rifle. Of course, the 300 is fine, but I find myself sometimes having to shoot it twice with this rifle. If you bring the mighty 4570, you can pretty much drop them on the spot every time. But like said, we'll spare the bears for later. Right now I want to focus on the deer species. I'm slowly approaching our first point of interest. Here you see a few stems that are rotten, dry stems, still standing, a few logs, a few trees lying on the ground. A lot of details really. A lot of new types of trees and woods lying around. Cut trees here, they are different to Loggers Point. So a lot of details. Also these little bushes here, you will find a lot of them as well. So they did do their research. They did look at the different trees. Leaf trees, needle trees. A lot of different types. Our first point of interest here is a little settlement. There's a few of them around. And like everything else in the EHR, everything is abandoned. They used to have boats on the lakes or on the rivers and airplanes. In Loggers Point there used to be an airplane crossing. That was the only sign of life for any non-hunters. But they got rid of those, so there's no people ever so far that you will find, no NPCs, non-personal characters in this game, so everything has to be abandoned. There's this little settlement here with old houses. So a lot of these points of interest are just quote unquote these settlements. But they're good starting points. I kind of like them. I put a tent in one of them. It's kind of cool to start in a settlement even though it's abandoned. This is a thicker trail that starts here. Remember they called the reserve after all the trails, and Timbergold's trails was the result. There's a grizzly bear. Look how far out he is. And I think he's still work in progress as far as the looks. But this guy already looks pretty good. And he's approaching us. What do we do? That is a Rocky Mountain Elk female call. I was too late. I missed to pick up the call. But that sounds familiar. The female sounds the same. The male sound is different. So here comes our bear. Look at this beautiful animal. Look at how did the fur. How they improved the fur. And there he comes. I thought he was going to kill me. He's still there. He's not scared of me at all. And there you go. That's what they do. That's a new feature. Look at the fur, look at the color variation. This is really, really beautiful. So right now he's still threatening me. But you could nicely see how they stand up. That is a new feature for bears. We have not seen this so far. There he sits somewhere. I get the spotting information. Oh, there he goes. Now he trots away. So this was our first encounter with the mighty grizzly bear. New feature, it stands up. Otherwise, as far as the size, I think they're similar to the brown bear, but not as big as the polar bear. Like said, I want to spend some time later hunting the grizzly. I really want to spend time on them. So as we encounter them, we will just try not to get eaten by them. So right now I will focus on the elk. Unless we get eaten after all. Now we get some rain. Look how the colors change. It's still very, very beautiful. So how about that for a heavy rainfall? I didn't want to talk for a while because it's so loud. So here we have our elk cow. And it looks really, really nice. They have improved the elk. They didn't just copy paste and then change some colors. Looks really, really nice. So I'm going to take advantage of this hill, of this rock here. And maybe you heard it when it dropped. There is a noise now like a dropping body. That makes sense. Larger animals should have that sound when they drop. So here's our first elk. It is a cow. And the colors are similar to the Roosevelt elk cow. But I think they really improved the head. This looks nicer. Now let's harvest this. So the experienced hunters will notice something quite away. Look at the weight, 230 kilograms compared to the Roosevelt elk cows, which are always at least 260, going up to 285. So the Rocky Mountain elk are a lot smaller. Not a lot, but quite a bit smaller, 10-20% smaller. And you will see the same with the males. The bulls are also smaller. And as you noticed also, it came alone. That's not very usual for elk as we know them. So this confirms my observation here as far as the groups. This one came alone. Sometimes I have 2 or 3. Sometimes I have a bull alongside. And I'm not sure if you can hear this, but on my headphones I have a really... I can clearly hear the grizzly out there. He is still out there. So anyway, our first elk is down. It's a female. I called again after I shot it with the bow, and I didn't get any responses. So it really was alone. This looks like larch trees, L-A-R-C-H. We have them in Switzerland as well. They lose their needles in winter, but in fall they're really bright yellow, very nice. I like them very much. Now, do you get the thrill here? We know the grizzly is out there. He is dangerous. He might be after us. And we walk through woods here where we don't really see far. Unless we get to one of these openings. So there's a little bit of a thrill going through these woods here, knowing there is an attacking bear. And if you say, why didn't you shoot it? You had the bear right in front of you. I really wanted to look at it first, show you the bear, how it stands up, how it does the threats, or how it threatens me and then runs away, comes back. And actually I was quite lucky. In most of the cases it would have overrun me. But of course I want to keep you stay tuned. The bear will come. The bear will certainly be in this video later. I'll spend enough time on them. One piece of information I forgot so far. This map is not available in low scene complexity. You know, you can change the scene complexity in your graphic settings in the launcher. You can set it to low. It works. You can start the game, but it'll start it in medium scene complexity. So you cannot outwit the game. There simply are no models, render models available in the lowest complexity. So this could be a bit of a challenge for older computers, for laptops. If you have to turn up the scene complexity, that makes quite a difference in the performance. Maybe you will have to turn down other values, like turn off the shadows or anti-aliasing or whatever. You'll have to play with the settings. But if you just start the game with the normal settings and scene complexity is low, you might be surprised at the performance issues, and that is why the game will start in medium scene complexity. And while I was talking here, we have another not Roosevelt, but Rocky Mountain elk cow. Of course, I'm going to talk to her here. Just one cow responding. Of course, this is a different season. Fall is not summer, so that might have an influence on why the animals roam in different group sizes or alone. They're not just lighter, they're also, of course, a bit smaller than the Roosevelt elk cows. Parker Python does the job. I used to hate it when it came out. It was a weak bow, and now it's my favorite. Certainly with the rangefinder bow sight. And there really is no other cow around. $235 kilograms. So sometimes you have to find your way around those trees, but every real life hunter will know this from the real woods. You can't just always walk straight ahead. There's wood on the ground, there's rocks and stuff you have to get around. So this is just very normal. even though it's not likely intended. This is yet another different type of bush. I wish I had the names for them, like these bushes. Again, a really good challenge for hunting here, because they obscure your view. And if you call in animals, or if there's a grizzly behind there, you would know it. So the tall grass, the many bushes, the narrow trees, the lack of rocks really makes this almost an open area, really hard to hunt. But of course we have stands like the ground blind or the tree stand that we can use. Just you will need very many given the size of this reserve. Mule deer just in time. Now, what is the experienced mule deer hunter going to think? There will be a few of them. So let's see. So far I've really only seen them as solitary roamers. New type of object here. An old fountain. And then this barn here actually isn't so new, at least this part. Maybe some of you will recognize it. You can go in here. And then up here, press the E key. And up here you are. Right now the windows are a good challenge to shoot out of, because you cannot shoot down. I think they're a bit too high up. Not sure if they're going to change them. But then this is not like a serious hunting tower. But at least to call in animals, it would be good if you could look out here, maybe use some scent spray out there, and wait for them up here. So I'm not sure if they're going to change this. Hopefully they will just bring the windows down a little bit. Same here. There's a new call, and it really is a new call, not just in my session here. This is the Roosevelt elk, the Rocky Mountain elk male. So of course we have to call them over. Knowing that our buck is still around. Listen to these calls. I like them. I love them. They're really great to listen to, and also there's a great variation. There's a number of different calls that he's going to make. I think I have some spray. Or maybe we can see it. I just wonder where my mule deer is. What I've seen though is these settlements with the buildings next to each other, and the fences. Sometimes it's a pathfinding issue for the animals, so they won't find their way in. But anyway, out here we have the new elk somewhere. The Rocky Mountain elk. course it doesn't respond every time. Like the Roosevelt, it does the same. Sometimes it responds, but you can't just talk to it all the time. Again, with no stands around here, where do I go? I find this really challenging. Maybe I can go up on this wagon. No, I don't think so. So tell me where to hide. Last time I was here, I hid behind the corner. Oh, I can go up here. Great. But it's not a great hiding place. So did you hear that? That was yet another call. It's called 3 or 4 times and all different calls. Really nice selection of a nice variation of calls. And the fact that it's always the same, what does that tell us? It's most likely alone. Oh, there it comes. I've got low spotting and tracking skills, of course. New animal. Start over fresh. So from the Roosevelt elk, we know there is small antlers, there is large antlers, and so far I've really only seen the large antler configuration here on these Rocky Mountain elk, which is great. If you do a lot of Roosevelt hunting, most of them have mid-size antlers, and every time the large rack appears, it's like, whoa, hopefully it's gonna score high. These guys all score pretty high compared to the Roosevelt. So for example, this one has no crown tines. I would score this one around 300 if it was a Roosevelt. Maybe even less. But I wonder if this one scores above 300. It's quite interesting. I had to shoot it, it was looking at me, but look where I shot it. In one of those bushes. Almost didn't see it there. So the vegetation here and the topography of the landscape really is a really good challenge for all you guys out there. You can really look forward to hunting here. Our first Rocky Mountain elk is down. It does look different. The head is different. Great job. They improved it quite a bit. So what would you score this? Like said, if this was Roosevelt, I would say this is just shy of 300, maybe somewhere between 290 and 310. Now let's collect it. 263, so that's about similar. But look at the weight. 321. That would be a tiny Roosevelt. Actually, they don't even come that small. They're all larger than this. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on the trophy shots, but let's just put it out here in the sun again to look at the antlers, and of course how they did the head. Very nice. We have some sun here, so The fur around the neck, that just looks great. Alright, our first bull. Bull came in alone. We've had 3 elk, all of them alone, roaming around. Checking the leaderboard for elk, for Rocky Mountain elk, the largest here on the beta server is 399, and that would be a massive bull in the realm of Roosevelt. And given the small number of bulls that have been shot here, I think we can expect a few 400s more than for the Roosevelt, which is always kind of nice. So I don't mind seeing a lot of large racks, especially if there's always just one of them. Do you remember the new animals that they put in this reserve? Well, there's actually one more that we have not heard of yet, which is the ant. There's an ant hill now. Every now and then you will see these. I use them to hide behind because of the lack of other objects. But no, I mean, these ant hills are usually in the thicker woods, where there's also other objects to hide behind, so but of course you could use them. Going down towards the river, we have rivers in Hirschfelden or Red Feathers where you can not always pass them. You have to find passages, and then the other parts are too deep. On the opposite, we have the Val de Bois rivers where you can pretty much cross them anywhere or everywhere, but not these. These are similar to Red Feather Falls. You have to find a passage, and if you look at the Hunter made map, you can see the Blue River and then the greenish passages, the only places to cross them. Another grizzly, I think he ate all of the elk and mule deer. He and his friends. We have grizzlies all the time, so it seems like today is a grizzly day. Now look from up here. This is something I don't quite like about these rivers. I think they made them too deep. They should have taken the Val de Bois rivers, because what we see here is ocean waves in the river. Of course, a river flows from left to right or from right to left. This looks like still water, and then the wind creating waves. But anyway, forget what I said. I just enjoy the nice landscape anyway. I just think they should have taken the other rivers, but maybe they were too small, too shallow. Apart from that, this is really great looking. Beautiful views. I'm going south here. Map check. This southern part is Grizzly Land. I found a lot of them there, a lot of tracks. So I'm not surprised one of them called. And before I go any further, I will start another hunt in one of the tents in the middle of the map. This time I'm starting my hunt here pretty much in the middle of the map on a hill, and this is a point of interest because there's something here behind me, which is a fire tower. Really great looking building. And if you do our map check, this is where I'm at. You see this hill here. From here you have a great view almost around the entire area. No wonder they put the fire tower up here. Here we have a picnic place. I missed the fireplace, the grill. And then here this beautiful building, the fire tower with redstone. And you can actually walk up there. And not just up, but also in. You can go inside here. This is where you overlook the area. And in case you see a fire, there is a walkie-talkie here. Just bring some batteries because it doesn't work. I tried it, doesn't work. So from up here, look at this beautiful view all around the area. Fantastic. Great looking place. You can walk all the way around. I wonder when the first guy will find a way up there. Isn't this great? Now you cannot really use this as a hunting tower unless you lure something up here. Yeah, maybe down there if you saw some animals there, but those would be rather longer shots. But it's a good starting place because here it's in the middle of the map. So from here I will go west, east actually, to the right side, towards the second lodge. Expecting more elk, bears, and finally some mule deer. There you go. The first mule deer is a doe, a female. Isn't this great? There's a new type of tree. There's a great variation. The tip here would make for a good Christmas tree. So here you really see more rocks in this type of landscape. The big challenge really is the aspen woods. I can hear something up here, which sounds quite loud. Oops. That's why. It's the bear. Ah, there's our mule deer running. I just wanted to get away from the bear. I didn't see it. Ah, there it is. Bear hunting is for later. He doesn't know that. So really so far what I find the most here is bears. Oh look! A number of tracks together. Looks like we have herds after all. Three mule deer does. So they turned around after my call, and as I did get away from the bear, I think some of them ran away. Well, one of them I did hear run away. Look at this stem here. That's just great. I like this. Great art, great trees. So finally we get closer here. Man, when's the last time I spent so much time on a doe? There she comes, she's alone. But from the tracks I would think there was a group until I ran from the bear. Can I take her out from here? Yes. Alright, our first mule deer. Oh, there's another. Yeah, bow hunting can pay off. I'm wearing parts of Boone and Crockett. On my top here is the red shirt. That's like a t-shirt, like the brightest t-shirt you could wear. But for the dull does, it works. This is a familiar picture. Mule deer. Same size as the Loggers Point mule deer. And really, if you look here on the map, I mean, they just took the boat from Loggers Point over here and then went to Timbergold trails. right. I will continue towards the lodge. Whoa, great. Great timing. Oh, great. Very close too. I wonder if he heard me. And I'm almost certain it's going to be a single buck. Look at this view. You can really enjoy hunting here all the time simply because of the stunning views. Great vegetation. It's been a while since the last release, since White Rime Ridge, but it was really worth the wait. This is a fantastic looking place. It makes a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun to hunt here. So I will just wait for our buck to come in. There you go, it's a nice one. It's a pretty nice one, but let's wait. Let's just wait for his brothers. The famous 5 brothers. Since the beginning of all times in the HR, you can find them, but I fear you will never see them here. So he came pretty close in the end. First mule deer buck, great looking buck. Scoring maybe somewhere around 175, 180. Alright, there he goes down the hill. Everything goes downhill. There we go. We'll take this one. Just always wait with the upload. Don't switch the task. Don't switch away. Don't open the inventory. Just wait. Let it upload. So once this is uploaded, we'll do the map check. See how far this still is. This is really a huge reserve. So somewhere over there behind this hill is our target, the second lodge. That's a lot of woods, that's a lot of forest. This is actually yet another type of tree. Just doesn't end with the variation. So much done. They also built new rocks. They didn't build it, they made them. Designed them, but this is new, I like it. The grizzly is everywhere. This is a constant danger. And unlike the brown bear and black bear, these guys will attack you from further away. Oh, there she is. Quite a long shot. Just moved. She just moved. And it ended up being a bad shot. I'm now at level 2 with the Parker Python. So animals beware. I just doubled my skill level. There she is, still alive. I have to talk to her in her language, of course. And another one calls. Alright. Oh, she's behind me here. So let's wait for your sister then. How have you been? Since she's so close. We know already from the other reserves that there's always more females than males. And I guess nature is the same here. A lot more females, at least so far. So this one is... yeah, it was a spine shot. So this one has died. Spine shots means you will paralyze them. Wow, this is thick. Wow, that's a wall. There's multiples. So they do roam in groups. The one that's calling is certainly further away than this one coming up here. This is very thick here. I have no way of seeing her unless she comes out. Well, let's just go in there. You can see this is not the one that called, because it's not a dome, it's an arc. It's not my current tracked animal. So let's just dive in here. I wouldn't do this with a buck. I'm very likely to spook her now. Hello. Where'd she go? Let's check the time. I was gonna say sleeping time for mule deer is in the afternoon, not in the morning. Oh, there she is. Just keeping the tree between the two of us here. All right. So let's go check out the lake down here. I don't mind the ocean waves here. Isn't this great? I am a fan of this map already. This is beautiful. I like the vegetation. I like the colors. I like the sounds, the ambient sounds. It's all around a great, great map. And finally we arrive at the second lodge. Again, the nice new lodge. They really need a lot of space here for people to stay because it's such a huge reserve. And look what they got. Archery addictions. So here we have our animals with organs that will give us shooting information. But this doesn't do it yet, so I would assume this will come. Alrighty. So for those of you who don't know this shooting range, there's one in Red Feather Falls at the Darkwood Lodge. And whenever you stand on this platform, you cannot waste any ammo. It's nice they put one here too. since they have it already. So let's see when's the next tournament. 2011. It's about time they changed the plans here. Oh, and it does it say bow range? Ah, yes, of course. Archery. So this is the lodge. Both lodges have a range, a shooting range. And lots of picnic places where you can leave your stuff out, like your sandwiches, and then the grizzlies will come in and you can shoot them from the balcony here. I wonder what it says here. Does it have the name of the lodge? Yes, it does. There you go, Everfall Lodge. Alright, there you go. Our second lodge here, Everfall Lodge. So I'm checking out the backyard here of the lodge. Going towards the mountains. On the map it looks like a small stripe of land. But then I find this is again a nice hunting ground. Oh, nice. So maybe hunting elk back here is easier than in the aspen woods. At least here you have ant hills you can hide behind. Now there's more trees, thicker trees, rocks, more hills too. Look at this tree, how this is done. This is great. Was that yet another call variation? This is amazing. Ah, there he comes. He has some crown tines. And again the large antlers. So this one I would expect to be above 300. Sees me already. So this crown tine up here will give us some points. There's a smaller one down here. And from what I've seen, I would guess this one is going to be somewhere around 340 maybe. But let's see. 335. So we're getting the hang of this. But again, only 330 kilograms. Very nicely done. Down here the fur. Look at this. Look at this. This is great. I'm glad they found a way to do this. There we go. Rocky Mountain Elk. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Oh, there's a bear. This is a great view from up here. Looks like we have a road tunnel, and it's a very specific road. It's a railroad, and in here lives the bear. I need a flashlight. Okay, here's an artificial wall. There you go. Coat hanger. Alright, let's see on the map. Okay, so this is a railroad. There will be another tunnel over here. That's quite an elevation here. I mentioned that in the preview video. Mule deer has been shot over the same distance. The record shot was always the same, around 258 meters or so. And I think you will be able to do longer shots from here. So some of the records will fall. It's about time. So we've been running here. You can see that stripe there. The tunnel was over there, and I've ran all the way here, and on my entire way I had not a single track. I heard an elk cow further down towards the river, but not a single track. So this is nice to walk here. It's great from the views, from the vegetation, but not really for hunting if this is how it goes on live. Some long range shooting maybe from these hills, but otherwise not much of a hunting. There goes the railway, and there must be a tunnel over there, but as you see, this is higher in elevation than the other tower, the other tunnel down there. Oh well. We don't know what's inside the tunnel. Point of interest over here. Oh, there you go. Certainly some mining going on there. Oh, this looks like you can climb there. We'll have to check this out. But look how far away this is, meanwhile. And here it just keeps going up and up and up. So I will keep rising and find another good spot to put the tent. Maybe that's going to be a starting point for the animals up here. And this is the hill I was before. Now I'm again a lot higher, and this goes further and further away. So I'm going to wish for a parachute or wingsuit to get back down there. Now we have the first white hills here. Oh, this looks like a good place here. Flat area. So this is where the tent goes. Enough walking for now. Here's my tent up here. Wow, look at this big area. Again, comparing to Val de Bois, for example. Alright, so my next hunt will start here. But I will go quickly and check out this place down here as well before I quit this one. So here we are at the point of interest. An old mining site. And I was wondering if I could go in here and up. Yes, I can. And just like I thought, oh, there's some tools in here. Just like I thought, a ladder takes me up. And I can shoot out the window, in the other window. I don't think it's going to be of much help for the hunting, but it's nicely done. Here we cannot get in. Very nice. And of course we have some, we didn't miss this one. Bighorn sheep hunting. I will start at my tent that I placed at the top. I'm starting here at one of the highest points in the reserve. I will keep the 300 to go after bighorn sheep, and I have exchanged the bow for the shotgun for when we find some white-tailed ptarmigans. The bighorn sheep are not easy to find, there's not too many around, plus they're very shy. So what I have found is hunting them from above. Walking down is easier, I can see them easier looking down into these woods, into these mountain sides. I find that glassing around is really helpful, really have a chance to see more animals, but of course it's a bit of a patient game. And there's our first ram running away actually. Very nice, it's just one, but that's good enough. And down he goes. Of course the 300 is a major weapon against these bighorn sheep. They are very similar in size and in behavior to the ibex. You will hear me compare them a lot going through this session here. Of course remember also here to bring first aid kits, because sooner or later you will need them. Again, similar to the ibex, what you see here is I've been walking, so he could have clearly heard me. An elk or a deer would have heard me. The sheep did not hear me until I just went over the crest, and then it probably saw me. I've seen this many times. You can run up a hill, they don't hear you until you appear on the top, and then they see you and run away. So the hearing of these animals are medium, but the seeing is really well. So let's check out these tracks here, see if he was alone. You will find them as loners as much as in groups. And so far it looks there's no other tracks. So let's go see. The largest ram on the leaderboard is 184, and the heavy ones are about 120, 120 kilograms. I didn't think this was a major ram here with the horns. Oh, I hear another one. I hear footsteps. So maybe there was a group, but they did not spook, so they must have been outside the render range here. Now, even though we're up in the mountains here, there's some thick woods. You cannot see through these trees here. So this is a good challenge down here. Well, let's collect this one first. I'm torn between hunting the one down here and collecting. Oh, there she is. It's a female. You can see that from the smaller horns. And she's also down. That's very nice. Now we can have a male and a female. The score is 143 and the weight 88 kilograms. That would be a minor ram with only 88 kilogram. But that's okay, of course. It's all about how to find them. When the ibex appeared in the game, that was a big surprise graphically. Graphics wise, that was a big improvement, and they have certainly brought this over to the bighorn sheep. The horns are new, of course, different to the ibex. What they do for the scoring is they regard this as a circle and they cut the horn in 4 quarters, and then they measure the circumference of each of these quarters. That's really interesting. So I keep marveling at these animals, the colors, how they are done. Look at this from up close. Also the eye. Isn't this great? I really like this very much. Oh, why don't we do a trophy shot just like this? The bighorn sheep with the big horns. Now let's see if this one was alone. Well, it looks like there's more tracks already. But the others will be gone, of course. Shooting heavy rifles like the 300. So there's a number of them here, it appears. I'm not able yet to tell whether those are males or females. And there is our female. Let's have a look at her as well. Much lighter, again similar to the ibex. The rams are much bigger, much heavier. So I'm going to drag her into the sun so we can look at her. They give a score because of their horns. They can be measured. And even though the female's horn is not a full circle, the same scoring is used as with the males. And again, look how this is done, how nicely. Great animal. So I will follow these tracks now, hoping that I will see them somewhere out where it's a bit more open. So here they were still trotting. These are young Douglas firs. These little trees here. And then this, no, not this one. This one is a grown Douglas fir. Way up, no branches. And of course we'll have to try the tree stand on these. And by the way, trotting, one observation I have made over the years with all the animals, you only ever get trotting if the animal is within your rendering range. I've never seen trotting tracks outside that were like an hour old in an area that I hadn't been before. So they always only trot when you're near. At least that's my observation. And if you look at where we're going and where we came from, we came over here and they were trotting here, so seems to work out. We came down here this hill. I was glassing, but I only looked at these rocks over there. Couldn't see right here into the woods. One more sheep added to the group, just now reading a new track. Or it crossed the paths. So I'm really expecting to see some fleeing tracks soon. Ah, there you go. I would guess from the shot and not from me walking. Me walking up there would have been too far for them to hear. Again, my observation here is that they don't hear as much as other animals. I have not yet heard a sound, as much as I would love to tell you whether these have calls or any other noises. I cannot tell. However, if they're still making changes, I would really recommend for them to copy the sound from the ibex with the falling rocks. That would only make sense. We have ptarmigans. Going to make a quick mark here. Ptarmigans down there. White-tailed ptarmigans. Been following this sheep for a while, crouching. What we know is that they roam fairly fast. But look at this. Over here on this mountain is where we started. Great view from here. So they have a fairly high roaming speed. Not easy to catch up crouching. But the advantage, of course, is you might run into others that you will not likely spook when crouching like this. I'm going to come on a little hump here with a bit better overview. That'll give us a chance to see them. By the way, you can lose them when they cross the border. So they can stand just beyond the border. You can see them and you cannot shoot them. The system will tell you you cannot shoot animals outside of the borders. Now I can hear something. Yeah, it's coming. Oh, this could be a ptarmigan actually. I think what I'm hearing is a ptarmigan. Yes. There it flies off. We'll get back to you later. This guy keeps going. And you can see the tall grass up here. Is also a good challenge. But look how the wind goes through the grass here. What that looks like. That's great. Now I can hear steps that sound more like a sheep. Sounds like more than one. I'm going to quickly stand up. So we are running into another herd here. Not running but walking. There you go, it's a ram. And it's not the ram we've been after, but who cares? There you go. So we had a 143 before. Let's see what this one scores. 148, 90 kilograms. So crouching, sneaking around, brought us to another ram that was roaming alone. I'm cancelling my plans to go back for the ptarmigans. I'm too far away. It's not that far, but we know of their migration. So the red dot at this point is probably not worth much. So I will look for more bighorn up here or ptarmigans. Now we're open. I recommend to bring the rangefinder, because if you look over there, see that large tree straight ahead, that yellow tree, tell me the distance. I mean, it's not easy to know whether this is still within render, and actually it's just beyond. So you might be looking for animals. Let's say you want to check out that hill over there, that rock. It's too far already, so you might be looking ahead and say, oh, there's nothing there. But the problem is the 220 meters limit. I was walking here and I can hear a sheep. It's crazy, I'm up here in the mountains. I would expect very little vegetation. And this is a nice little forest here, preventing me from seeing anything. I can tell you, bighorn sheep hunting is a really good challenge. Oh, there's one. One running deer. Good challenge. Might have missed this one. I think actually what's the case is right now the sounds are too close. They were further away, but it sounded like they were almost on top of me. So one I shot down there, rather bad shot. The other I'll have to find, but I think it's over here in that area. Let's go find out. One thing that's easier than with the ibexes is the climbing around here. There's not as many really steep walls where you will have to shoot them out of. That makes it a bit easier. Oh, there's my ram. There it is. So there are some steep walls where you will find these guys. But overall, percentage-wise, if you will, they are a lot less in these steep walls. Mostly in areas like this. But then if you think of ibex, how many times do you have to shoot them out of these walls? There's our next ram. Scoring 146. They're all in the 140s. Okay. Bighorn sheep ram. The one down here I shot crouching over 180 meters with a shaky gun. Just wanted to shoot it before it disappears. I think I was standing on here, right? Wasn't it? Yes, I hit it. Oh, this will die. With the 300, we can be almost certain to pick it up. If you own a 270 or a 6.5 by 55 like the Blazer R8, bring that as well. That's fun too. You can shoot these sheep just nicely with these guns as well. So I've been running around here for a while looking for the dead sheep. It's just here. What did we get? We got a female. Okay. So actually just two blood tracks, and then I was going forward there in what was here on the side. Rather easy. Oh well, a good hunter would have found it. So where are we on the map here? We covered quite a bit already. But look how much further this goes. There's so much more stuff that you can find. In the meantime, I've also placed a tent here. This is another mining site point of interest. So one more point I want to check out is going to be this one. So this is a natural border really. Going forward here is not easy, or if not impossible. You need a wingsuit. I'd pay money for that. Beautiful looking from up here. All the way out there. And back there is the other lodge. This is really big. Really, really big. Good view from up here. And here we have the mining site. Look at this. So big. Wow. So I think they will have to add sounds to the bighorn sheep. Otherwise it's a searching the needle in the haystack. Although I've shot a few already. But if you look at the size, at the sheer size, and it just keeps going on. Look at this plateau here. Up here. A whole different world again. This is so big. And it's beautiful. It's really very, very immersive. This feels so real, very well done. Quite a few tracks here. At least 4 of them. So there's quite a few around here. This is where we're currently at. I think ibex hunting is easier. You have more longer views, a lot less vegetation in the French Alps than up here. The tall grass, the many trees make this quite a difficult endeavor. We have a few down here. Very nice. There is at least one ram. Probably just escaped my view. Just outside. Oh, there's one. And I hear one to my right as well. There he goes. It's a female. And that was nicely to demonstrate how they climb equally to the ibex. So we've done a lot of bighorn sheep hunting. We had ptarmigans twice. Once there was a call from a flock maybe, or just a single bird. We didn't go there. Another time we had one bird just lurking around us, flying away. We didn't follow those. But this is what we're now going to do. I'm going to again start at my tent up there, and this time I'll go in a different direction. This is a nice ram to finish this. 140s again? Yes. Alright. This is our last ram in this session. Very nice. So there's more mining going on here. Another abandoned mine. And this is what this point of interest looks like. Let's go up there, look out the window, make a quick judgment of whether or not that's gonna be something useful. Yeah, much better from here. Not going to shoot many animals from here. But it looks like we have the complete wobble stabilization. Look how still this is. I don't even push spacebar, and this is completely stable. So from that point of view, the sheep may come, but the chances are small because of this huge place. This time I will focus on the white-tailed ptarmigan. The 300 goes in the backpack, and I will bring the Plinkington and also the shotgun. Hunting ptarmigans has changed a little bit. You used to be able to run up to them, they would duck on the ground, you could shoot a few, and then they would fly off in all different directions. Now they flee rather soon, but they flee as a group, and they also migrate from one place to another as a group. In order to find ptarmigans, you can either listen for calls, or you can follow tracks, or you can listen for their chatting. Even before you get a call that you can identify on the hunter mate, you can sometimes hear them chatting, and it is recommended that at that point you crouch and slowly move forward. And exactly this is the case now. I've heard some birds chatting, as I call it, talking, quite lively. So I'm slowly moving forward. And I would not be surprised if they hear me or see me and then flee. So I have to be careful here. The Plinkington is good for longer shots when you see them from far. And then there's a chance that they will just stay there. But from close up you have to have your shotgun ready. So let's get closer here. Maybe we can see them on the ground. And here they come. Here comes the flock. And we got two. Now don't rush forward. They will not go very far. Currently the flapping sound is a bit off, but I'm sure this will be corrected. Now if you listen well, you can hear them still. They fly a bit and then they will sit down. They will be alert, they will be easily spooked again, but at least you can hear them chatting again. Maybe we'll have a few more, but for now let's pick up this one. Looks like our first bird here is a female. Let's have a closer look. You can lift them up by the neck, then they will not rotate like this. This turned out well, so we can have a closer look. This is the female white-tailed ptarmigan. Not only the tail, but also the wings are bright white. Let's see what we got here. Took me 3 shots for the one that was closer, and only 1 shot for this one. There we go, one more. Another female. One more look here. The speckled bird with the white wings and the white tail. Shotgun must be ready at all times. Keep listening. You will hear the flapping. And this time we got a male. Let's have a quick look at the difference here. The male looks more or less the same, except it has a red stripe over the eye. Otherwise the same bird. And here they come again. Too far away, but this one we got. Another female. Let's just stick around. The red tracking color works really well here throughout the reserve. You can see it nicely. Oh, there comes the next. The flapping sound is definitely off. I'm sure on the live system you will hear them even better. So let's pick this one up. Where are you? There you go. Last ptarmigan shot. Yet another female. One more look at the white bird. Not to fly again. So much for the ptarmigans. This is where you can find them and how you can shoot them. So finally, we want to go after the mighty grizzly. We have seen a few already, how they reacted to us, but now we want to see how we can hunt them here in these woods. Let's get the rifle ready, the 300. As always, I will advise to bring a strong rifle, especially against this large animal, the grizzly bear. Comparing it to the other bears in the game, it's about the size of the brown bear. This might change, they might make it even bigger. But right now that's what it is. The behavior of brown bear and black bear are that they will run away when they hear you or see you or smell you. The polar bear will often stand its ground, especially the large ones. They will turn around and attack you, or at least threaten you first and then run away. And the grizzly bear can be compared as far as the behavior. Some of them will run, some of them will stand. So what I'm going to do here is ignore the mule deer for now. I will run for tracks from the grizzly bear. Here in the southeast, this is the map, this is the place, this is Grizzly Woods. You find many of them here. So I will look for tracks, I will listen for calls. They make a call that you can pick up with the hunter mate. And sometimes you will just simply hear it somewhere near without having any other signs on your hunter mate. Especially when you walk, you will have seen this earlier in this video. You can run into them or walk into them, not noticing them, and they will be really close all of a sudden. And now I can indeed hear some noises. Some heavy breathing. So let's go slow here. The doe we will ignore. Oh, there it is. Just walking up towards me. Now it realizes me and is trotting off. Not interested in a fight. And now even fleeing. Hello. Sounds like there's more mule deer around here. That we're scared. Now we can hear the bear again. He's not far. Little log hut here. There stands our bear. And we can collect our first bear here. So this was a female. Let's find some sunlight so we can have a proper look. The grizzly bear. The fur is just great. A huge improvement if you think of the brown bear. Alright, and it looks like we have tracks for the next. Let's just cross this wooden bridge here. That is new too. Very nice. The river here is rather shallow. Makes it a bit easier to follow this one. No bear. Getting closer, we can hear it again. There it goes. Isn't this great? And finally one follows through. Now we have to be careful. After getting up we have to be quick. Okay, we got him with the bow. Oh, now he's stuck. That's unfair. At least we can enjoy the trotting animations here. There he goes. Alright, so that was the bear attack. Threatening me, standing up, running back and forth. I mean, it's an animal after all, so it'll try to protect itself, so it's not gonna always attack. But here it finally did. And we can go and collect it after this successful bow shot. When you follow herd animals, there's no need to rush. You have to give them time to bleed out. As long as they run, they seem to bleed less, so you have to go further. Plus, when you walk, you can do some hunting on the side. You might get a mule deer here or another bear. And there is a call from another bear down here. So what I'm going to do is I will mark this place and return. But let's go look here. Just remember that the tracks will not last very long on this huge map. So I will have to return rather soon, or I will not see any tracks anymore. There goes our bear. The Grizzly has quite a decent roaming speed. This is similar to the other bears. So catching up crouching will take some time. I'm going against the wind here, so he should not smell me. I can hear it walk. I said initially you can run or walk up to them, but after we've had a few bears running, I prefer the sneaking. We're on a constantly changing platform here. Improvements are being made, so we learn as we go forward. There goes the bear. That'll be an intestine shot. Bear is again stuck. They will have to do something about these issues here, but when this goes live, this will work better. There's our bear. Killed with the bow. What did we find this time? Female scoring 16. There we go. Female grizzly bear down. So let's go back and pick up the other one. And the track is gone already. This is how fast the tracks will disappear. So finding our bear will be a bit harder now. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. We're lucky. See how fast the tracks will disappear. This is because of the size of the map. Again, a female, rather small I think, so hopefully these will be made bigger. That's where the arrow hit. Not a great shot, but the bear is down. Ooh, look at this. Here comes the next. Is that a white bear? An albino maybe? It's actually a blonde. It's not a rare. It's a fur variation. Not an albino, just a blonde grizzly bear. And before we get into long discussions, I will finish this. The blonde grizzly bear. There we go. Lots of trees around, many of them new types. Let's make the tree stand check. First of all, we will check out this dried tree here. Tree stand cannot be mounted. The Douglas fir. Works like a charm. How about the larch? You cannot install the tree stand here, even though the larch is large. How about the aspen tree, of which we have very many in the reserve? This one's got a thick stem, tall tree. You cannot install the tree stand. However, on the smaller ones, here the tree stand's a bit lower, and then on this one the tree stand is higher up. So does that mean you can install the tree stand on every slim aspen? No, you cannot. There's actually differences. Even though the same size, not all of them will work. You will have to figure it out. The ponderosa pine is the last tree in our test. Even though it is a tall tree, the stem is simply not straight enough, and you cannot install the tree stand here. There are also collectibles on this map. No map specific ones, but at least the mushrooms as we know them. I've seen golden chanterelle, and here is a king bolete. So you can find them here. However, not very many. The density seems to be less than on other maps.
Just to find out his tears. He said nobody fire, no.
So, are you fully geared up on climbing ropes? Well, guess what? In Timbergold trails, there is no climbing that will require these.